Hello everybody, welcome, sorry, camera's acting weird. Welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to give you my review of the Netflix original movie, Space Sweepers. Now, Space Sweepers takes place in the future. I believe it's like 2090, like 2090 something. I believe it's like 50, 60 years from now. Like, if I'm correct about it, it's like 50, maybe, I think it's like 70 years from now. And in this future, Earth is not quite destroyed. You know, if you've seen these kind of futuristic stories, usually Earth is completely decimated. It's in tatters. It's a mess. And people have to live underground, or you've seen these apocalyptic events. This version is like Earth's on its last legs. Like people can still live on Earth. In fact, I think they said something like 95% of the population still lives on Earth, and people can still survive down there. The environment is so bad though that most of the time people have to wear gas masks to just walk like around from place to place. I mean, once you get in a place, you can take it off, but once you get inside a bubble of filtered bubble, which is usually at more official buildings, official areas and cities, you're good. But for the most part, you have to wear masks because the environment is that bad. Not that it looks like you would die immediately from it, but you could get really sick from it. So Earth's on its last legs. Most of Earth looks kind of dusty. Got this orange tint to it. And in this future, humanity has figured out how to, not only is humanity like have more orbitable stuff, because spacecrafts have come a very long way. Spacecrafts and robots and whatnot have come a very long way. I mean, a very long way. And they can, they have these orbitable stations that the rich can live on. Not only that, but they have a station that's like, it's a station that has life on it, like green scenery on it, that only the rich and powerful and the chosen can actually take, be a part of. And that was made possible, James Sullivan, by this guy named James Sullivan. He's like this huge corporate CEO of this company. I think it's called UTS or something like that. And he's figured out how to create life. He's figured out how to bring life to artificial places. And they say something along the... I don't know if you see it, but they say that they found a way to bring life back to Mars. So, like, there's all these concepts that are being played with, and this huge corporation is supposed to be helping everybody. Now, in the top of the movie, something's weird. Because, first of all, it definitely has a Wailing Yutani vibe to it. Because this corporation... You knew that the guy who was running the corporation was evil. You knew it. Especially when the movie starts off, like literally when you see the guy, the movie like there's like these people have to get certain permission, and they have to go through hoops to just get on this little paradise this paradise planet that he's created. And when you get there and you meet the guy, they say he's the oldest living person at 150 something years old, and you think he's gonna be some old geezer. He looks like a dude in his 40s, and it's like a shock. And it's kind of like, okay, there's clearly something here, because they say he's 150 and he looks like a dude in his 40s, and like that's not normal. So clearly there's something going on here. But it turns out, there are some other things I don't want to spoil for you if you want to see the movies. But the main character is a character named Toho. I think his name's Toho. I don't know if I'm saying it correct. I mean, I don't know. I'm not very, when it comes to languages like that, like Korean and stuff. Because this is a Korean film. And his name's Toho. And Toho is an interesting dude. He seems like he's a dude just scraping to get by. He works for a space sweeper. He's a part of a space sweeper crew on a ship, the Victory, with the captain and and a couple other people on there, including a smart talking robot. And he's the pilot. He's a great pilot. He has a past. You can tell he's tormented. And, they're just trying to get by. They're trying to get by. The bills are just piling up for the crew. The animosity between them is piling up as the bills pile up. And, and what Space Sweepers are, which is the name of the actual movie, Space Sweepers, is apparently when people started expanding outward to, try to figure out a solution to this, Earth's dying. Let's figure out a solution to it. There was a lot of satellites and a lot of equipment, and because clearly there's going to be things that go wrong when you're trying to build stations out around Earth's in in the Earth's orbit, and apparently a lot of fucking stations, a lot of there's a lot of space junk, like just from projects and stuff that are just floating around at different velocities and could potentially, you know, be sorry, could potentially be dangerous. So they have these guys, the space sweepers, who are supposed to come by, take up, take debris, and they can sell it for money. Like, that's their job, is to take debris, is to just go snatch up debris and sell it for money. So they're basically space janitors. That's basically what they're glorified janitors. That's what they are. They work a thankless job that nobody even, they're just like, yeah, you clean it up. And when you see, the one thing, I'm going to start off with some positives about this movie. The one thing that I love about this movie is how lived in the world is. I hate sci-fi movies that make the future look too clean, because in my opinion, in the future, 70 years from now, whatever, it's still gonna look dirty as fuck. It's just gonna be futuristic. It's like, awesome, you got a robot. You got a talking robot with the AI personality. He's gonna look dirty as hell. He's not even gonna be clean, you know what I mean? Like, I love that. I like that. And the movie really put emphasis on how lived in and dirty the ships looked and everything looked, and like, I like that. I like that they made the world feel lived in, that there's more to it than meets the eye. Like I said, they made it feel like a realistic future, so to speak, in terms of like, I can see it, it's visible in front of me. The characters in it are for the most part decent. Nothing's really distracting. I like the design of a lot of the ships. I like the design of a lot of the things. And I love the concept in general. The concept is really good. And in terms of scale, it's really good. It has decent CGI considering it's on TV. You know what I mean? It has decent CGI. It's right in line with like other CGI. It's right in line. It's not top notch. It's not top notch CGI, but it's right in line with some of the bigger films that make like big time money in like China and foreign markets. Like a movie like this would make a lot of money in foreign markets, not in America, but in other foreign markets such as China and in other markets in Europe. It would definitely make more. It would definitely make some money out there. But herein lies where my criticisms of the movie come in. I think that it's a movie that is terribly simplistic. It is very predictable, and it is very rudimentary. Like everything about this movie is like movie writing 101. Because at a certain point in the film, they're all assholes. They're all different levels of assholes. They all have their reasons to be assholes, but they're all different levels of asshole. But at a certain point in the movie, a little girl shows up. And you know how that's gonna go. The little girl's gonna change all how they feel. They're gonna go from being bastards to being okay people because of the little girl. You know how this is gonna go. And the villain was super cliche. He was super moo-hoo-ha. There was not much to him. They had an opportunity to do something with him, but they really didn't go too far with it. Every bit of dialogue, the dialogue in this movie can be a bit tough sometimes, even when you're just reading the subtitles. And I know that it's, dubbed and like that's, it's dubbed over, but even with the sub, it still feels a bit clunky. There are times where they're trying to have an emotional moment with the kid and how she's affecting them, and the dialogue just kind of comes off just so like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how it comes off not organic. I must say that's how the dialogue comes off, especially the moments with the kid. It just come off inorganic. For instance, there's a part in the beginning where she's asking for a high five. At the beginning of the movie, they think she's a bomb or something. They think the kid is a bomb or something. So the main character, Toho, he's a little bit suspicious of her. He's a little bit like, I don't want to be near her. But she's a kid and she's asking for a high five for some reason. She's asking for a high five. He doesn't really want to give her a high five. Not to mention he has his own hang-ups that I won't tell you about. You can see the movie if you want to see it. Find out. But and later on in the movie, like out of nowhere, like out of context, and like it's stuff like this. Like she gets rescued, but with some terrible things about to go down. She gets rescued, and the first thought she has, like, by the way, this event between the high five took place like a long time ago in the movie, a long time ago, and like all of a sudden, like she hasn't requested another high five the entire film. And out of nowhere, she's just like, in the movie, they're just like, we care about her now, and she's just like, high five. And it's like the way it was done just felt so like, okay, so this is how it's supposed to be done. It felt like it was a list. It was a movie that was just putting down a list of like, this is what you have to do. It's got to be this, it's got to be this, it's got to be this. It's like, and a lot of the dialogue felt like that. It felt like, oh, well, we got to have this happen. Oh, and even near the end, you're like, well, okay. Like, and there's nothing that's very unpredictable in this movie. And literally near the tail end, it was wrapped up with a bow. And it was kind of underwhelming. But you know what? I didn't hate what I saw. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to this. But I gotta admit, it was very underwhelming. And really, and I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, it really shows that even though American blockbusters aren't perfect, we still do them better than pretty much every other country. Because that was like, okay, yeah, like, I see what you're trying to do, but it was like you were reading me the script as you, it just felt like I could see the strings. There it is. I could see the strings. It was like they were trying to puppeteer this thing, and I could just see the strings. And I'm just like, I mean, this might be good, but I could see those strings. You know that, right? But anywho, I'd give Space Sweepers a 6 out of 10. I didn't hate the movie. I thought the movie was actually decent. For a sci-fi perspective, it has some great concepts, has some great visuals, I like the way the world looks. There's things, like I said, there are things that really drag the movie down for me. The story, the plot, how it was executed, the dialogue. There's a lot of problems with this movie, so I can't really give it anything higher than a 6, but I still enjoyed myself. So thank you guys for joining my Complicated Movie Show. And have you seen Space Sweepers on Netflix? It just came out a couple days ago. That is my thoughts on that movie. Thank you guys for joining my Complicated Movie Show. I'll see you in the next one.